got a guest here today, very special guest today. Introduce yourself.
Hi, my name's Kiara.
Confidence,
speak louder,
man. Come
confidence.
on, man.
You have to know who you are. You have to know who you are, fam.
My name's Kiara.
I like
But
that.
I've already
Nice.
said it, so it's fine.
Okay. Okay, so who can define colorism? You know what I'm saying? Let's get a basic or detailed description.
I don't want to say this is like the definition, but I think in my head, just off the top of my head, I'd say it's kind of like when this, I don't even know.
To be honest, for me, innit, everyone says that it's the one I'm always seeing is kind of like discrimination against darker skin tones in between races, against dark people. But for me, that's not my definition. Is literally just racism between a race. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but then there's gonna be the people that say, well, you can't have racism between a race. But I understand it's like discriminate, when you're discrimination
Based on like skin
Yeah.
tone.
within your own race.
Yeah, but the actual definition of colorism is discrimination against darker skin tones.
On Google it says that colorism is discrimination based on skin color. Also, that's it. It's also called shadism, but I don't think anyone says that.
Yeah, I ain't heard that.
You will make it, I think.
I say we start, man. We're talking about shades.
So what do you think about shadism?
We're talking about colorism. Bad.
There's so many layers to it.
Shadism, fam.
True, say.
Okay, one thing I do. Okay, let's start out by talking about kind of the difference between how black girls are seen and how light skinned girls are seen, fam. Because obviously, as men, we are the ones doing the chasing. Mm-hmm. We are low key. We're the investors that decide the value of both black women and light skinned women. So let's talk about the disparity between them. Do you guys? What do you guys think?
I think it obviously, if we go into if we look at it from a deep perspective, we can say it goes back to slavery or that that time back then when the lighter shades it was kind of imposed on us by white people, and then we kind of took that on, and from that we kind of said, like, in a lot of cultures, lighter skin is seen as more beautiful.
Yeah.
So we kind of adopted that, and we said, lighter skin girls are better looking than darker skin girls. I know when I was younger, that was like, unfortunately, that was a general consensus amongst most black men. Even a lot of like white guys that hung around with black guys, they kind of used to say the same thing, just because. So it must have been quite obvious for people that used to come from outside of the community and come into it, because they would adopt that as well. I think as we've gotten older, I don't know whether this is a generational thing, as in like our generation's better, or like with other generations as they got older, it kind of died out a bit as well. But I think a lot of us are a lot better, as in we just say, like if we find them attractive, we don't say our light skin girls are better than dark skin girls. I think it's crazy that we even used to say that out loud. Like, I'm sure there's people that think it now, but they wouldn't dare. They wouldn't dare say it out loud. So I think it's kind of died out a bit. I think it's still there, like the remnants of those attitudes are there. But I think it's gotten a lot better.
But there've been those attitudes for ages. Because I know even in the Victorian times, even the queens and kings used to put like a white kind of powder on their skin.
That's what I'm saying.
Because they were saying people with darker tones, they were generally people who work outside. Like, they were the workers. So they were seen as all the royalty. Put like a white kind of powder on themselves. So they're not working outside, they're always in the house.
And the thing is, we're talking about that. That's obviously a UK example. It's that shows how deep rooted it is in the UK, yeah. But even if you go to Africa today, a white man walking in Africa, that's a king, fam. They're praised. They're treated well.
Jamaica, very light skinned people, mixed race people, high coloured.
That's massive. If anyone's like read any books by Carla, he speaks about it how here, as even though he's mixed race, he's seen as black, but if he goes to Jamaica, he's looked at as royalty because having lighter shade skin is just, it puts you in a higher place in society. Okay. So I think it's important that we kind of remember that race is it's a construct. Like, as much as we are different colours, the idea that you're black in one place might be something completely different in another place. So yeah.
Okay, so obviously we talked about it from a female perspective. When it comes to a male perspective, how do you guys feel, and how do you think it's affected you guys in terms of like dark skin? Because obviously before it wasn't idolized. Before it was a violation to be dark. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, blitz.
Every day. I used to get it from my white friends, my Asian friends, my black friends.
From your black friends especially.
And no one would bat an eye. The girls, the guys,
Everyone's
olders,
laughing. It's Shadow Man.
youngers.
Shadow Man.
The lights.
You remember
come on.
Shadow Man?
The lights turn off the cars.
When you watch that, they close the.
Oh yeah.
Where's Kamal?
Where's
There's a dark There's a dark brother on the projector. Oh, there's Kamal. Bro, it was everywhere. And even with, I think most girls I think light skinned guys were quite idolized for a bit. I remember.
I would say 2012 to like 15.
Yeah, like the curly haired.
Curly haired light skin member. I think people kind of grown out of it in a way. Like, they don't hate them, but it's just like, oh.
You don't think they still are?
To be honest, I
don't think they're
do you know what? I think it's reversed. Because I
think they're more idolized in like young girls, like 12-year-olds, but not people who've actually matured and actually like.
Do you know what's mad though? I think it's reversed a bit because if you go on Twitter, there'll be this joke, and it's like, oh, a light skinned man, and it will be like them being quite sensitive and feminine, and it will be like dark skinned men. Man jokes there.
Masculine.
Who were they interviewing? They were like, oh, Kobe told me to stop driving to the paint like a light.
Jordan Clarkson.
So I think it's even reversed a bit. But yeah, I definitely think there's been a change because like black men in like the society we live in are loved by most racist communities. Like whereas before it was like you're like they liked black men, but darker skinned men weren't really.
They were looked down upon.
Okay, one thing I want to ask. Obviously, I'll flip it to Kiara in a bit for the opposite side. One thing I want to ask you, man, is obviously seeing how perspectives change and over time. You go on Twitter, you see light skinned girls being praised or whatever, and now how it's changing or whatever. How do you feel like seeing these things on socials or just your friends believing these things? How do you think it affects you? Do you think that these things have ever changed your perspective on girls and what you like or what?
The thing is, with me, I'm in a relationship now, the light skinned girl. Obviously, I've always been attracted to like. That's my preference, understand? But it's like now, if I speak on it, like it's like they say I'm putting down darker skinned females.
I say self-hate, fam.
It's not that at all. Like, it's just my preference. Like, you get judged for your preference.
I think it's so important. I was having a conversation with someone about this. It's like if you're gonna, like, obviously you're not dating outside your race, but if you're gonna like, say you're not dating a dark skinned woman, if you're not gonna date a dark skinned woman, but you're gonna bring them down at the same time, I think that's when it's the self hate, and then that's when that's when you're hating on your own people. But I think if you're dating you're dating a light skinned girl, doesn't mean you don't love dark skinned women. Do you know what I mean? I think that's the difference, and that's people just bundle everyone together and say just because you're not dating dark skinned women, you don't like dark skinned women. I think that's
100%. You can have your preference and do whatever, but you can't like at the same time just because you prefer one thing to another thing doesn't mean that you should bring down another thing.
Yeah, I think that's the key difference.
Because people be saying, oh yeah, I have my preference, but then at the same time be bringing down the other thing because it's not their preference. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, because I say when men talk about it, it's often a thing where you do get called out for self-hate, innit? But from a woman's perspective, it's a thing where women talk about it so much that you get more points of view. Like you can hear, like women are more open about what they like and this, that, the other. Yeah. So, Kira, what would you say? Do you think that you've been kind of influenced by society's views on light-skinned, dark-skinned men, or do you think that you've been consistently like making your own judgments on what you like?
Well, me personally, I don't actually like mind if you're like light skin or dark skin, because I'm more about like if I click with you, then that's the thing. Like I'm not gonna like love you more because you're light skin or love you more because you're dark skin. It's like the same thing. But talking about like the whole self-hate thing, I think because black women are so like, I wouldn't say used to hearing black men bash them, but like because it's seen as normalised kind of, like they kind of generalise everyone. So like, so it's not fair, but at the same time, I get why they're doing it.
I hear that. But what do we do to change that though? I can't lie.
It's so difficult.
Stop bringing down darker skin tones and start bringing down lighter skin tones.
No, but deep it, bro. There's guys that like cool. They're dating a light skinned woman. They're not. They're uplifting dark skinned women. But because there's other guys that are ignorant and they are bringing them down, they're just gonna agree with them guys.
So how I'm saying that the issue isn't really with the people saying other people are this or self-hate or whatever. The issue is with the people that are bringing down the other people. You know what I'm saying?
And as soon as you get branded as that guy that like they group you with those people, it doesn't matter what you say, because they're just gonna say, oh, what, like say if you say nah, that's not me, they're just gonna say you're lying, really and truly.
Yeah, you don't know how many times I've been asked, oh, you just don't like black girls then. I'm thinking that's not the case. Like I love all my black queens, understand? But I just have a preference. But because I have a preference, that's agreeing with all these other people who bring down black girls, darker skinned girls, and just ruin the whole thing.
I think it's because there's a lot of people that will say that they have a preference almost as a way to save face.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
True.
So then obviously,
and it's annoying for the genuine guys. Isn't it?
Yeah. Thinking on that, one thing Kira brought up like before we start recording was the way that, or as a girl, because you know how dark skinned women or like brown skinned women have not been praised for that long. Like it's definitely a new sort of trend for them to be being praised outwardly. It's a thing where now that she sees that or other girls see that, it's a thing where how do you know that they're being genuine? You know what I'm saying? Because the same man that were praising light skinned women a couple of years ago, even a couple months ago, they're now praising dark skinned women. How do you know that it's not just for show? And how do you really identify that it's like it's real? You know what I'm saying?
Unfortunately, you don't really
I don't think
know.
you can.
Like, unless you get to know the people, like you don't really know. You just But I think that's the case with a lot of things in life. How do you know that white person isn't racist when they've done things that seem racist and they say they're not racist? How do you know? You just gotta kind of base it off of what you've seen and like make an informed decision, but at the same time not be so rash to just group everyone together. Because it's so. Because like I say this with a lot of things. Once you start someone that isn't against you, once you start saying they are and you're onto them, like you're probably gonna push them more away. They're gonna start resenting. And so I just think you gotta be careful.
Yeah, because it is bare confusing, man. Like I even say from a boy's point of view, it can get confusing, fam. Because obviously we touched on how black skin or black skin, darker skin has never been idolized, but it's a thing where over time it does start to be. Because I know personally for me, my dark skin never used to attract girls or this, that, the other, but it became a time where it would attract girls, and they're now commenting how beautiful it is.
The transition is
I love your skin. So, but it's a thing where I kind of just stay in a space where I don't get gassed by it, don't think too much about it, because tomorrow will be someone else. You know what I'm saying? Tomorrow Spanish man will be getting.
The next day it will be Asians.
You know what I'm saying? I think it was Asians not too long ago. You know what I'm saying? It's like it definitely gets bare confusing, man.
I think it's important to try and make sure that like you're not just being. I don't want to say fetishized, but that's for want of a better word. You're not just being fetishized because of your skin color. Because it's weird. Like, I'll admit, because I got a lot of it when I was younger, the blip thing. Because I was like one of the darker guys in my school. So when the transition started happening, where everyone, like girls were liking me for my race, like I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't like, ew, no, you were saying this before. Like I kind of liked it. I played up to it because it was new to me. I kind of went to my head a bit, and then as I got older, I started realizing like this is kind of weird. Like it's just like. Almost you're attracted to me for trend or because it's the in thing or because there's rappers that look like me or have the same skin colour, do you know what I mean? So I feel like it's an educational thing that comes into it as well. And just I think it's important to just be critical of it. When you see like a trend, just kind of think like to yourself, why is this happening? Like when it comes to the dark skin thing, I think personally because like rap is like the new rock and roll, right? So you got all these dark skinned men doing well, bare girls around them, hella successful, because we kind of look like them. Everyone's like, I want that. I want the bro. Because I always get told, oh, you look like Stormzy or whatever, this and that. I don't even look like Stormzy, bro. I'm just dark. I'm telling you, I'm dark. I got short hair.
I've received the Stormzy one.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm dark. I got short hair. I'm telling you. So
you chat the most, man.
Yeah, that's what I think it is personally.
I think earlier you spoke about like the whole fetishizing thing, innit? And I feel like I don't think that I haven't dealt with it much myself, but I feel like it's one of those things that you can spot when people are, especially I see it a lot on Twitter, girls saying that like a white guy, for example, will come talk to them and he's saying stuff like, "Oh, you black queen, you Nubian, I love your dark skin," and it's like, relax. You know what I mean? But I feel like for women, they have to deal with that kind of stuff a lot, getting fetishized and whatnot. For men, obviously, we do deal with it here and then. You already know the obvious one. I don't have to talk about it. But it's like, you know, it's like calm down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I hear that. But I don't know, man. I think right now, it's a thing. I think the main one right now is like everyone is kind of like dark skinned women are being celebrated and more uplifted. I think a lot of it, me personally, I think a lot of it is people pandering and trying to, like you said, save face and things like that. But at the same time, I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing that black women are getting uplifted, even if obviously you don't want people on your side that aren't really on your side.
Yeah.
But black women have taken so much, they still are taking so much.
It's the least we could do.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? But yeah, that's my take on it.
You see how like sex, you see how it's like women decide who has sex. You know what I'm saying? And like when it comes to like relationships, everything, the man doesn't really decide. Like he doesn't dictate what happens. It's more about what the woman wants to happen. You know what I'm saying? As in like, you can move to a goal all you want, but if she doesn't want you, you're not gonna click or whatever. But if a girl starts moving to a guy is much more likely to like appreciate it and like reciprocate the energy as well. But it's become a thing where it's like if man them are getting fetishized all the time, they're gonna kind of like it because you're liking the attention you're getting. Yeah,
that's what I was like in the beginning. I'm not gonna lie.
It's just like, hey, like, by all means, like, I don't mind. But with women, it's a thing where if you're getting fetishized all the time, it could get quite annoying and it could be quite damaging.
Yeah, because imagine,
I'm just my skin.
Yeah, you're talking to a guy now, black or whatever, and he just keeps going on about how I love your beautiful dark skin. Like at first you're gonna be like from a black guy, at first you're gonna be like, okay, good, he loves black women. But then you're gonna start questioning like,
what else is
why?
Is
that why?
What you're here for?
Yeah, or even are you being genuine, or do you feel like you have to say this? Do you know what I mean?
I know some girls who do it just for the status, just to say I'm with the black guy. Do you understand?
Wow.
Literally for the status.
100%. A lot of people outside of our race, they obviously
like a trophy husband guy.
Yeah,
100.
They
like,
come into it and you know
like flew in front of their friends.
There's that whole thing that you'll see. I've seen girls talking and they're like, oh, like white girls, isn't it? And they're thinking, oh yeah, I've been with black guys.
Well,
is it true he has a big dick? All that stuff.
I've seen a white girl say, like someone's asked her type, she said big black boys. Like that's a mad statement.
That is nuts.
Big black boys. Like, what big do you even mean? Are you talking hench? Are you talking fat? Are you talking about another part of the human and that? Like, what are you talking about?
When, you know when people were protesting, when people were protesting, I was with it, but then I saw one sign and it was like,
oh yeah,
you know
exactly what sign you're talking about. Like rest, man.
It's like, come on, relax.
Rest.
Oh, yeah.
And then
it's almost like they're proud to say yes. I fetishize black men.
The one that got underneath my skin was a bit when I saw black guys doing it, and the poster was like, "Your daughters love every inch of us," and inch was in block capitals, and I was like, "Come on, bro."
Wowza.
I was like, "That's what are you doing?"
Because we do have to speak. As men, we do have to think about the way we portray these things, fam. Because, bro, women can be emotional. You know what I'm saying? It's a thing where now, when it comes to mental health, it's now a thing where people are quiet about it, fam. So the things that we say and the things that obviously the women are reading from us, fam, it can definitely affect them in the mental.
Yeah, but I think like on that as well with the men, like I said, like if you say you've been growing up in high school, throughout high school you're just being called blick, you're not really getting the same attention like a light skinned guy was getting. You've now left high school, girls are onto you because you're dark. Let's say girls that aren't black, yeah. So the guys you're saying that was talking about the inch thing and they're kind of playing up to it, you could kind of see how it's happened. Like they haven't really got female attention. Now they're the main target of the female attention. They're gonna thrive in it. They're gonna love it. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100.
So I think like what Prince is saying is true. Like what we're saying, the attitude, like the kind of community attitudes that we portray and we put out there do have they have repercussions. And they're gonna affect us as black people.
True.
Okay, one thing I do want to ask, like, since we have a woman here, one thing I do want to put out is, obviously we're talking about how the things we say can affect them, But right now we're mainly talking about it from like just a colour point of view. So one thing I do want to ask is, what other things do you think, the way that people, the perspective that people have, what other things on your body, let's say your features or whatever, do you think kind of affect you when people talk about them in specific ways?
I think in general, say like there's a white girl, like a lighter skinned girl who has a nice body, and like I feel like they'd be praised a lot more.
These memes that are like, oh, white girls are evolving, fam.
Stuff like that.
They're out.
So, but at the same time, I think it's kind of like, part of me thinks because a lot of people expect that of black women, they don't really hype it as much.
True, yeah.
But like, when it's like a lighter girl, it's like, oh, like she looks like this, I want her, like they're designed.
Yeah.
So I think it kind of makes black girls feel, oh, like we're not really wanted.
Wow.
So yeah.
No, I hear that still. I know black girls who may have that futures, but they're not really getting praised for it because it's like they should have it. It's normalised. But if they don't have the futures, I see a lot of black girls get slandered for it.
And really and truly, it's not like they. It's almost like people are saying you're black. You should. It's like a stereotype. They're being. It's like we're standardizing all black women by saying, like, for example, they have to have a big bum. Like, if you don't, it's not your fault. You've just been born that way. It's not a big deal. But we're saying, do you know what I mean? And then we're saying like, oh, white girl's got the big bum, the black girl doesn't. Why? Like, we're almost questioning like, why don't you have this? You're black.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Something else is like the hair types and like the hair length of certain non-black girls, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So like, even me sometimes when I was, especially when I was a bit younger, I used to be like, oh, like why doesn't my hair look like this? Like why doesn't my hair this texture? Like I want it to be like this. And obviously a lot of black girls went through that thing of like always straightening their hair or like relaxing their hair or texturizing it to make it look like softer.
Yeah. Because girls definitely do get violated for their hair length, I can't lie.
True.
Especially with Andrew.
Wow. Gee, not even.
This man's hair for days.
I didn't say nothing.
It's just that it comes down to like standardizing black women on like Eurocentric like standards of beauty. Do you know what I mean? And like we comparing black women as well.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Black women are black women. We shouldn't be like, okay, why do you have that hair and a European woman has that hair? Do you know what I'm saying?
Like when I'm not gonna say who in it, but when when I've been speaking to black girls, there's one guy in particular, and it's them ones where I'll bring up down speaking to the black girl. The first thing he says is, "But is your hair longer than hers though?" And in my head I'm like, "Are you skunked? Why does that even matter?"
I didn't know who you were talking about, but when you said it, I knew
you know exactly who you're talking about. And it's like, bro, come on, man. There's more to it. There is way in my head. I'm like, really?
No, they're cool.
And it's mad because he's probably out there talking to black girls and being like, "But my hair's longer than yours."
Exactly. He's like, "Come on, man, relax." Like that even matters.
Is this silent judgment, fam? Yeah. That's another thing black girls have to worry about.
Because if I was speaking to a white girl and she had her hair cut short and I was like, "Oh, she wears a bob," that's perfectly fine. No, he wouldn't ask any questions about it.
We need to deep how many things these black girls have to worry about, fam.
That's the thing. Black girls are getting the slander from black men as well.
That's the thing.
So if black girls are getting slander from black men, who are they going to get the praise from?
She's thinking about her hair, yeah. Even after you've assured her, she's still thinking, oh, but what if he actually doesn't like it? It becomes a thing where it's about things that they can't change. Because hair's a thing you can change over time with this, that, the other. Obviously, I don't know much about hair. My hair's short. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. But it becomes a thing where they're also worried about things that they can't change. Let's say their eyes.
You get attacked from so many angles.
You know what I'm saying?
Bro, even on the eyes thing, yeah, because my eyes, they're not white, like the colour of my eyes. So I used to, when I was younger, I used to ask my mum, I was like, "Mum, why?" I was like, "Do I need eye drops?"
Yeah.
But even I think one of my family members even was saying, "Yeah, you probably need eye drops." But it's just I'm black. It's just like it's normal. But because I was looking at white people and I was like, "Yeah, their eyes are white." I was like, "Why are my eyes not completely white?"
It's like it's even within the family. I remember like even within my own family, people like they'd say like, "Oh, your eyes aren't white because you spend too much time on the computer."
Yeah, but I used to get mad. Like I need to drink more water.
And then
I was thinking about this yesterday. That's what I was actually looking. I was actually looking at the thing about this yesterday. I'm not the type to have insecurities. I'm not insecure about that. It was something that
yeah, because a lot of people be like, "Oh, are you high?" I'm like, "No."
Gee,
don't get me mad.
I've
bro.
got
that one.
Then was like, I'm walking through town. Someone asking me, "Oh, what do you
What
want?"
do you want?
And
Ah!
I'm like, is it because of my skin? They're like, nah, because your eyes. I was like, oh, gay. Say
That's viral.
And it's just again, it's like it's because the standard is like a Eurocentric standard. It's not a black standard. You know what I mean? So I think that kind of comes down to us to start, not judge, but like kind of say like, yeah, judging black women's beauty on black women, not on, but yeah.
I hear that.
Oh, like I'm not saying you like obviously you don't have to find every person in the world attractive in it, but you can't be. It's literally what you said. You can't be using different standards to.
Yeah.
There shouldn't really be standards like that in the first place. But you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Obviously, everyone's gonna have their own like what they like in a girl. Fair enough. But when you're judging a girl on her appearance, it shouldn't be specific to her race.
Yeah. Because imagine I say to you now, what's your type, and then you're saying I don't know, long, blonde hair. Already, you kind of know, like, that's not black women. So like, say cool, that's your preference or whatever. But if you was then to say, oh nah, and then someone shows you like they show you a black, it was like, oh, you into her, and it's like, oh nah, her hair's nasty or whatever. It's not long enough or something like that.
Cool.
Do you know what I mean? There's things like that.
And you know who you are actually listening right now.
Wow.
Nah, he knows who he is, fam. Nah, so I'm getting angry now. I'm getting angry.
Tell the black women alone, fam. What's
Do you know what's even mad? To think like those attitudes, like guys out there that have those attitudes, they must have come from somewhere. Because obviously you're black, so you grew up with, I'm guessing, a black mum at home, like a black family, you might have black sisters. So that's like the first thing, while you were growing up, that's what you saw. And then obviously you probably went to school, you watched films, and that would have affected like your outlook on women and things like that. So it's just kind of, I'm not saying there's like a point, I'm just saying it's kind of interesting.
I think it's really peak as well on black women, because it's one thing taking it from other people, but then you're also taking the abuse from people that look like you.
That's what that was my point.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, black women are the most oppressed, fam.
And it doesn't help that in like films and stuff, they obviously we get onto the strong black women thing, where black women are they're expected to be able to take more than other women just because they're black, and it even goes into I've got a friend that do like a lot of doctors or nurses, they'll almost be apprehensive to give black women the medication because they just expect they can do more because of the strong black women thing. And like obviously in films, the black women are usually portrayed as like being hurt by a man, having to be the strong black woman because of something that's bringing them down. There's never just, whereas like, you know, you'll get them films with white people, it's just like a feel good film, they're just people, you don't really get that, like there's always got to be a trope when it comes to the black woman.
There was actually there was a study, I can't remember who did it, but it was like years ago, and not like recently, like time, and it was like this guy who was like one of the most famous doctors or whatever, he was like he thought that because black women, like literally because they're black, he thought that they could have like higher pain tolerance. Like they can take more pain. So during surgery, like I remember anesthetic. Like there's just no anesthetic because
just ignorance
he thinks they can take the pain.
But that then comes onto the whole thing from slavery that we're subhuman or we're not the same. Do you know what I mean? It's just. That's a whole
nother. The whole subhuman topic is a whole different topic.
Oh no,
we go all day about that one. Facts.
I was gonna say, I feel like black people in general were just like, what's the word? Like, we're already oppressed, innit? But I feel like black women especially, because like, say if like a black guy has long hair or like whatever, like, or short hair, doesn't really, it doesn't really like matter. They be like, oh, it looks nice, whatever. But like. With black girls, if she has a wig, oh, what are you wearing a wig for? Why are you trying to be like white? Or like, if she wears her like natural hair, it's deemed like unprofessional and all that. So I feel like, black people are oppressed, but women are just right at the bottom.
I heard that.
I know that when some black girls, when they do have long hair, it's seen as such a like shock. It's like whoa, like what you've been taking to get that, like, you know what I mean? And then even on top of that, there's just like when it comes to the wig thing as well. I don't know, man. There's too much to talk about. Like, it's just there's so many like stuff that people get on to know about their appearance. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
One thing that I did actually it just came to my mind now. You know how it's viewed that, you know, when women have like their afro out, they just have their hair out, it's viewed as unprofessional, fam. So, gee, I just want to put out there. What do you guys think about that, man? Like, how do they have to hide themselves and work and cover themselves?
In fact, I was having this conversation with someone the other day, and they were telling me how, you know how girls have protective hairstyles when they have braids and stuff?
That's what I'm saying.
In schools, people are getting excluded and isolated for having braids.
I can't lie, when it comes to, oh my day, I was lucky I didn't have to experience in it, but I used to live in East London, innit? So I was going to go camping, innit? All boys school in East London, like Rain and Dagenham sides, around there, somewhere around there, innit? And then my cousin, he's not my cousin, but he's my cousin, innit? He went there, and then he told me that one time he got a trim, because he has a high top now, but before he had a high top, he told me that he got a trim, probably about Prince's length, So he got put in isolation for like a week because his hair was too low. Can you imagine that? Too low, yeah. Too low. Literally having it too low. Like him and so many other boys, and because they were getting skin phase as well. So when they got trims, they had to get like they couldn't even get like phase. Like they just had to get like a shape up and then put like a taper or something, and they just have like bare hair, like probably like a 2.5. Like they couldn't get low because their hair was too low.
Where was that?
They were forced to get low.
It's probably a white people rule, yeah. It's something made for the white boys.
Yeah. Because they said their hair was literally too low. Like someone got can't remember who it was. Someone got I think like a 1 year and then just a fade. Just actually, like he got excluded for 1 day, I think, for having his hair, because he had his hair. I think his hair was too short, and then they said, was it too short? No, when he got his high top, he got a high top. And he said because it wasn't even, he got excluded for a day for it. So he has to cut all of it off and go complete. So he has to be completely like all bald, or it can't be like that. Like it can't be a fade. It has to be either completely like all level bald or bare hair.
What did he do?
He had to cut off, innit? He had to go to the barber and get it cut off because he couldn't go back to school unless he had to take a cut off. So he had a high top and just had to get it all done. Tough.
Regarding the hair thing for women, I think it's just people like to get onto them about wearing wigs and having braids and all that stuff, but they're talking because they don't realise that these are protective hairstyles. They're not just, no one's trying to look a certain way, no one's trying to be European. Yeah, you might get braids because you like braids, but even then, it's like the freedom that you have as a black male. Like, as a black male, I can get any trim on. I've got long hair right now, people like it. If I was to get short hair, people would like it. You know what I mean? But if you're a black girl, you don't have that same kind of freedom. There's always going to be someone telling you that you're trying to be this, you're trying to be that, or that you look a certain way.
They can't please everyone.
Yeah.
I've seen a thing, and it was like black women when they have like job interviews and stuff, they get their hair straightened, and white women make it go curly. Apparently, I don't know if that's true or not, but I've seen it.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
And then I've seen another thing that was you know, when it comes to like European hairstyles and that, and like wigs and all these type of things and like blonde hair. In the beginning, it was actually black women have like the Eve gene, I think it's called, which has all of the hairstyles and all the features. So they have a gene in them which is like can create anything. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you can have a black person with blonde hair and blue eyes, with straight hair. Like literally they can create anything. So I find it it's kind of ironic the way that they're actually slandered quite a lot, even though they are like kind of like the mother of humanity.
Yeah.
Okay, one thing I do want to talk about though is like the difference in expectations between black men, or obviously black women, and obviously white men and white women, because it's a thing where over time people like something people can say that you talk white, innit?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that sort of thing. So why is that a thing, and how do we change? How do we go about changing that? And have you guys had any experiences regarding that?
I mean, I'm not too sure why it is a thing, but I do know that I've had people, you know, I've had it where wow. I've been in the situation where I'm trying to speak and I'm using words that are maybe, I wouldn't even say they're big words, they're just different, yeah. they're not the usual words.
Not every day.
Yeah, they're not your everyday words. Or my diction might be to like a certain level that people weren't expecting from me, and then I'm being told, "Oh, you speak white," or "Why you trying to sound posh," and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, I'm not gonna lie, English is English. I don't understand how I'm meant to.
Get me?
I don't know what I'm doing wrong.
Well, I've blatantly been told by girls, "Why are you speaking like that? Why are you using posh words?" And like Andrew said, I'm not even using mad words.
Honestly.
Really and truly, if I'm trying to move to a girl, I'm not gonna wanna. I'm not gonna be using mad words because I wanna communicate with her properly. So some of these words, they're not like basic, but they're not crazy. So I just think that it's kind of because we're young black men, they just don't expect us to articulate ourselves even near the level of, I don't know, middle class white people or something like that. And like you said with diction as well, because I always used to get the thing from teachers and whether they were black or white saying, "Oh yeah, your son's so well spoken," and I'm just speaking.
You know what I mean? I'm not 6. Like, why would I not?
I'm just speaking. I'm not even trying and hard. I don't think. Yeah, I think it's just because I think like I use slang obviously. But obviously in certain situations and environments you don't, and you might speak a bit different. I just think I know how to change, and I'm not even doing anything crazy. So I just think they don't expect it from young black men because of the way we're portrayed in the media or things like that. Yeah, I think it should be the minimum to just speak. I don't even want to say like I'm articulated, but it's not crazy. You know what I mean?
It's like I don't think that everyone should speak super well, but I don't think it should become such a shock when I do.
That's what I'm saying.
Because if a white person was doing it, no one would make such a fuss about it.
I think it's just a stereotype, man. Like,
definitely.
That I feel like a lot of black people just fit into the stereotype. Like they don't try and like articulate themselves well. Like they just speak like.
One thing I also don't want is for that sort of thing to become normal or commonplace, and then now when people who do speak properly are around people who, so you may say don't speak properly or don't articulate themselves, they may try and hide it. You know what I'm saying? They may try and speak in a way that they don't actually speak that. You know what I'm saying? You speak differently around different crowds. I don't think that's what we want, fam. I feel like together as a people we should try uplift ourselves and uplift our level of speaking, education, anyhow, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because the way I speak with you guys on the podcast and even just in general, I don't speak like that with my friends. So
I hear that.
So I think we can round it up there. One thing I do want to say, obviously, we've got a lovely woman here today. One thing I do want to do is give her the floor, just say whatever advice she has for people, younger, older, just whoever listening, whether it's about insecurities or whatever you want to talk about.
Well, I'm still young, so I'm still young. So I was just gonna say for the girls black girls younger than me, like don't really let anyone put you in a certain like category because of like how you act or like what you look like, because you're the only one that actually like builds your future. So don't let anyone try and dictate what you do and tell you, oh, you act a certain way, for you to then like stop acting the way you are, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But I don't know what to say for like older black women because they've gone through more.
True, so
I'm
hang in there. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to change the world, man. But yeah, before we do cut off, I want everyone to clap for Kira though. I can't lie. But yeah, man. Yeah, I think we're done here today, man. I hope everyone.
We do this all day.
Yeah, I think everyone. I thank everyone for listening.
Yeah, honestly.
I hope you took something from it.
We appreciate it.
I hope we covered every topic you had. If you don't, hit us up on the Instagram. The Twitter's coming soon. And yeah, man.
Hope you like the clap song. It's gonna be on iTunes soon.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Project Noir beats, fam. Gee, you don't know about it.
Going on, man.
Gee, fam. Oh, tell him, fam. MG Beats. That's my guy,
MG
fam.
Beats, fam.
That's
That's
my
the guy right there.
That's my guy. Alright, man. See you later, everyone.
Say
Thank you for listening.